Hi everyone, this is Hobbs Yoda. I'm here to give my spoilers review of the brand new superhero film, the not so fantastic Fantastic Four. Now, let's just hope I can make this review more entertaining than the last god awful 20 minutes of this film. Now, this film's got a lot of really bad reviews, and I'm just kidding, because you know what? This film is awesome. Which is a quote by the Trash Can. No, this film is not awesome. Say it right now. But they were heading in a lot. This film was heading actually in a lot of great directions though, and the trailers looked really good. But here's the thing about the trailers: a lot of the great action scenes in the trailers aren't even in the movie. Like the final cut of this movie is so bad. There's barely any character development at all. But like the only really good character development is at the beginning, well, between Reed Richards and Ben. They're like the only two that have a really good character development. Their relationship builds up really good, and they handled it really well. I felt that was really good character development. But other than that, no one really gets any good character development. But I did like the first hour or so of this movie. I thought was actually pretty good. Like they were going in so many great directions too, and I thought it was really good. Like they handled the origin story the first 30, 40 minutes of the film really well, and cool scenes of them building the portal and stuff. I like that, and them all teaming up to build it. But the first hour was all right, really good, decent origin story. The chemistry they were building up between Ben and Reed was awesome, as I said. But the acting wasn't the greatest. I thought Michael B. Jordan did well. So the guy did Doom. Those are like the two best actors. But everyone else didn't have that great acting. I mean, it was okay, but yes, not really. But a lot of people were nervous about the cast for this film. I actually thought the cast was alright, and I thought a lot of people were pissed off about them making the Human Torch black. I'm like, I don't care. And Michael B. Jordan captures like the spirit of like the Human Torch and the character of the Human Torch really well. I thought he did awesome, and everyone thought it was gonna be like Johnny Storm that was adopted, but no, it's actually Sue that's adopted. But they never really touch on the adoption story at all. Like you see Johnny kind of jealous of Sue earlier on, but they never touch on it at all. They like talk about it and they just like leave it alone for the rest of the film. There's like barely any character development. But Johnny's character was really good. But I did have one problem with Johnny's character. Like the only reason they bring him in is to help build the portal they want to go to another dimension. That's what they're trying to do is go to another dimension and stuff, and they're trying to build a portal to get there. Now, Johnny's dad is in charge of getting all of them to build the portal, and he finds Reed and Ben at a science fair and finds out they make a machine that can teleport stuff to this other dimension they're trying to get to. So they hire them with his daughter to help build the portal to get people to the other dimension. And it's really good. It's really interesting. So Johnny comes along because his father's making him in order to get his car back. He has to help with it because his dad really wants him to help with it because he's really good at building stuff. So his dad says, because you see, he built his own car, which looks awesome. But the car also like blows up. Now, yes, partially that was his fault for pushing the car to the limit, but still, that's partially the building fault too. And all we see him is build a car, and his dad's like, "My son Johnny can build anything," and I'm just like, we just saw him like build a car that blew up, and I mean, all we've seen him build is a car. I'm not sure I want this guy to build a device I'm going to be teleporting in. That's really dangerous. But okay, whatever you say. He's like, oh, we can build anything. Oh, okay. But now they also go and get Victor Von Doom to help build the teleporter because this was his idea. He came up with the idea, but he didn't like where the government was going with his idea and everything. So he committed a terrorist act and blew up like all their computers and stuff. After he quits, he blows up all their computers and stuff in the lab after he leaves. But they need him to get the teleporting device built, so they hire him again after he commits like some terrorist act, and he says he like hates the government and he doesn't care about Earth because of all the leaders and stuff saying they're running Earth to the ground, and they're trying to build this teleporting device because they can find stuff about human life there, and like maybe have a chance to save Earth when they get to that other dimension. So the only reason Victor Von Doom agrees to help out with it is because Sue's there, and apparently he has a crush on Sue, and so that's why he starts getting mad at the Fantastic Four at the beginning, is because he starts getting jealous of Reed because he sees him start talking to Sue a lot, which they had some good character development at first, but then it just went nowhere and went flat, got really bad, and so he starts helping him, and then they finally built the teleportation device, right? And then the government comes in, and they're all thinking, all four of them are thinking, Doom, Reed, and Johnny. They all think that they're gonna be, and Sue. They all think that they're gonna be able to be the ones to first teleport to the other dimension and make history because they're the ones who made it. But the government comes in like, oh no, we gotta get professionals to do this. We're not gonna send you guys. We gotta get NASA, and then so Victor Von Doom, he gets so mad about that, flips him off, and he's like, really? So he's like, no, I should be the first person to be able to go on. This is my idea. I should be able to go to the dimension first, which makes sense. But they get really mad, so they go have a couple drinks. Doom, Reed, and Johnny Storm. No, did I say Storm? And they all go have drinks and get mad. So they get drunk while everyone's gone. They're like the only ones left in the lab almost. And they decide, you know what? Screw them. We're going in this machine. We're going to teleport ourselves there. We're going to be the first people to get on this other dimension. We're going to place that American flag down. We're going to make history. We're going to go there ourselves. And so they get drunk. They decide to do it. Like, yeah, we can do it ourselves. No problem, right? So, and then Ben has been friends with Reed since 4th grade. Yeah, the origin source, when they're like really little, you see him start building this teleport machines when he's in like 4th or 5th grade. So him and Ben was in his class when he was presenting it. Everyone thought he was crazy, and so, but Ben believed him, and because Reed showed him the teleporting device, so they've been friends ever since 4th grade. He's been helping Ben out with it. Ben's been helping Reed out with it, the teleportation device. So, before they get on the teleporting device, Reed calls up Ben. And it's like, you know what? You've been with me for this ever since the beginning. You believed in me ever since I started this thing. You gotta come on. You gotta come with me. I'm not going there without you. You gotta come with me to this dimension. You deserve it. And so he calls Ben up and tells him that. And so Ben's like, okay, fine, I'm coming, whatever. So it's Ben, Reed, Johnny, and Victor Von Doom all get in the teleportation device because there's only 4 pods to teleport. So yeah, so they all go to teleport to the other dimension. They're all 4 there. They get in. There's some jump mistake, and they all teleport there. And they get there to the other dimension, and the other dimension looks really cool. Like, dang, they can do a lot of really cool stuff here in this film. This can go in a lot of great directions, but the dimension, like, brings, like, one of the worst final acts in a film I've ever seen in fighting scenes. But they get there, and they, like, see this green, like, liquid acid pool down at the bottom, like a mountain. And Victor Von Doom is like, I can feel the energy from it, like it's calling to him, and he wants to see it. They're trying to figure out what it is. They're like, exploring as they would, and trying to see everything. So it's fascinating. And Ben's like, we should probably go. They're like, oh yeah, because they're all drunk and stuff. And you see the green acid like jump out of the pool, and it goes into like a geyser and starts bursting all over the place out of the ground. And they're all trying to climb back up the mountain so they can go. Because like this green acid liquid stuff is going everywhere, and it's probably highly dangerous. And so they're all climbing up the mountain, and Ben makes it up first, and so does Johnny, and then Reed makes it up. Victor's still trying to climb up. He's having a hard time, so Reed tries to help him up, but the acid comes and splashes on Victor's hand, so he lets go and he falls down into it, and they all have to leave without him. They leave him there. And they're trying to close the pods, and like Ben's pod, all the rocks are getting inside of his pod as he's trying to close it, along with all green acid stuff that turns them into what they are afterwards. And you can and you see how Johnny gets his powers because the teleportation thing crashes when they get back, so it's a huge mess. So I don't know. I don't really get how Reed got his powers though, because Ben got his because there was rocks in his pods. He was teleporting back, and then Johnny got his because there was fire after the crash, and I didn't really get how Sue got hers. Yeah, that's one of the other lame things too. Sue wasn't even there with them. That's how she got her powers. She only got her powers because she found out that they went there, and she's the one that teleported them back for him. She found out trying to help him, and she only got affected because they came back and they crashed, and she got affected by the crash landing of the teleportation of the teleporter device. Actually, wait, no, I do kind of understand how she got her powers because the thing turns invisible when teleporting, and it crashed into her a little bit. So, and then Johnny got his powers because there was a fire after the crash, and Ben got his because Rocks got on his thing. But they never really explained how, like, uh, Reed got his stretchy flexibility powers at all. I didn't really get that, but oh well. I didn't get that, but whatever. Powers are cool. And then so the government comes and finds them all crashed, and like Johnny's burning alive after the crash, and so the government comes and gets them all, and they're all still alive, and so the government's like trying to see what's wrong with them, how they got these powers and stuff, and so like they're all laid out on tables in separate rooms and stuff. Looking, the government's like seeing their powers, and now Johnny now has the power to turn on fire, flame on, and like Sue can like turn invisible, but she doesn't know how to control it yet. How to go from visible to invisible. She doesn't know how to control it yet, and Johnny doesn't know how to control his powers either. And neither does Reed so much. He kind of figures it out while he's in there because he has to go help Ben because Ben's locked up in another room, all scared and alone, not knowing what's going on because he's like this huge rock creature now. So he finds out to use his powers and escapes from the lab table that they're experimenting on and goes. Sees Ben, but then he runs off and escapes because he's scared too. What's going on? He goes to the vents and runs off and promises Ben like, "I'm sorry, Ben, I gotta go," saying, "I'll find a way to fix this," and then leaves. And then so Reed leaves, and so the government decides to use Ben, Sue, and Johnny as their own weapons to help out the government and stuff. And so, and then you see it jump to one. So Reed ran off. Like, so what are we gonna do now? Reed's gone. Oh, I know. We'll jump to 1 year later. And guys, this is supposed to be an origin story movie too. I know a lot of people, so am I a little bit, are sick of origin stories. But the point of origin stories that kind of makes them fun to watch is watching the superheroes learn how to use their powers. And they explain that they make suits for them 1 year later of how to channel their powers and stuff. But you never get to see them learn how to use their powers. And Josh Trank directs this movie, before Fox came and edited his final cut and ruined it, his final act. But Josh Trank directs the movie, and that's why I had faith in this movie because Josh Trank directed a great movie called Chronicle. And the great thing about Chronicle is you see them all use how to learn their powers really well, but they don't show that in this origin story superhero movie. They don't show them trying to learn how to use their powers, and because of that, there's like barely any action scenes at all. There's like barely any action scenes. Like the only really good action scene in the movie is when the government finally finds him with Sue's help, and like Reed's like attacking all the soldiers. Jeez, I can't talk today. Soldiers in the forest, and he attacks them all. But then Ben comes and knocks him out. And they all got him, and now they're all working for the government now, finding a way to help him. But then they find out they go back to the other dimension to find out ways to help them, and they find out that Doom is still there. Victor Von Doom is still there. So they decide to bring Doom back, right? So they decide they see him, and he's like, "I knew you guys come back." And they bring him back. He voluntarily lets them bring him back. And when they bring him back, they decide to use him too and help him out. They usually use him for the government too. He gets mad about that, of course, because he's like anti-government and everything. And he now like knows how to blow people's heads off and stuff. And so many people like, how did he learn to do that? He's been stranded on this other dimension for years. For a year, sorry. So yeah, a lot of people are mad like, so how did Doctor Doom learn how to blow people's heads off and learn how to channel his powers if he's been stranded on this planet Zero for like a year? Well, he's had like rocks so he could experiment on. I mean, he's had plenty of time to experiment his powers, so I get that. But I will defend that. But the one thing I did not like about Doom, and he was the only good character. Like his acting was really good at the beginning of this movie. Like the first half of the film, he was actually transitioned really well. And then it's his character that ruins this whole movie at the end, which I was still disappointed because I was waiting for Doom to come back. I'm like, okay, this is gonna get better when Doom's back, right? No, it gets worse. And what was wrong with Doom coming back is because he goes to tax the government, but he decides he wants to destroy Earth now and put it in a black hole and destroy it and go back to the other dimension because he likes living on planet Zero, which is what they call the other dimension. Instead, he likes him there instead. So it's like, so why did you come back then in the first place? And if he wants to live on the other dimension, government, fine. Who cares? Let him live on the other dimension. My gosh. This is pointless and stupid. Just let him go then. Why did you come back in the first place then? And then he doesn't even give a reason for wanting to destroy Earth other than, I'm just really mad and I want to kill Earth. He doesn't give a reason for it. There's like no character development with him whatsoever. At the end, there's like no character development, and you see he has power to fry people's heads off and stuff, which is a really really cool scene with him, going down the hall like blowing people's brains off right and left, which is a really cool scene. And his powers are actually really cool, and a lot of people complained about the look of him, but I actually didn't mind the look because you can see why he looks like that, so it's fine with me. But yeah, there's no character development of him, and so if there is character development of like there is a good reason why he wanted to destroy the Earth and more character development, then yeah, it'd be cool. But it's the action sequence is horrible too. The final act's horrible because you can see him, he can pry people's faces off, and he can easily. And so, like, he starts leaving to the other dimension and starts the black hole to destroy Earth. And so, the Fantastic Four all start chasing after him. But he kills Sue's and Johnny's dad by frying his face. And instead of just killing Reed, which he easily could have, which we can see, he just throws him against the wall. I'm like, okay, you're not explaining this well at all. Like, couldn't he just fried his face? But no, I was gonna throw him. And then he goes to another dimension, and they all chase after him. And they have a really cool sequence of the Fantastic Four traveling through the dimension after him. Like, Sue has them all in the bubble, and then Johnny's, like, flying through on fire, which is really cool. It's, like, the only cool part of the final act. Only cool part, like, all the action scenes sucked. And then so they get there, and you see Doom, like, activating a black hole, suck up all of Earth, and destroy Earth. So they chase after him, and then Johnny immediately flies right at him, and then you can see Doctor Doom, like, moving these rocks, which is actually kind of cool, and then he, like, throws them and covers Johnny in these rocks, which causing him to burn out on the ground, which is really, yeah, really dumb action sequences. And so that's what happens to Johnny, he's like, okay, that's it. And so I was like, okay, so if he can move rocks apart and stuff, shouldn't he just be able to take apart Ben like that? Because he's just a giant rock creature. And you can see he can move rocks and stuff, so he should be able to just rip apart Ben like that. No, no. I was like, okay, you don't explain this at all. This action sequence makes no sense and is stupid. And, like, some of the CGI is so bad in it, too. But I will admit that the CGI they did with Ben, the visual effects they did for Ben's character were really, really good. But, like, everything else was not that great. Like, the other dimension visual effects are kind of good, but everything else, like, horrible. They didn't even, it's like they didn't even care. But yeah, and it's like really bad excuses, and you see him holding Reed up like this and grabbing him by his throat, in Darth Vader style, and he makes a horrible ghost he does a horrible line that sounds too much like a cheesy Ghostbusters reference. He says, "There is no Victor, only Doom," which sounds like there is no Donna, only Zool from Ghostbusters. Which is like, oh my gosh, cringeworthy, so stupid, such a stupid line. And so yeah, it's so dumb. He has so many dumb lines. He has no character development. Gives no reason why he wants to destroy the Earth. No character development whatsoever. Horrible action sequences with him. And then you see him hold Reed by the throat. And I'm like, you can easily just burn his effing face off right there. And this is such a cool villain too. There were so many great things they could have done with him, but it just went wrong. Horrible. And you're like, you're holding him, you can just burn his freaking face off. No. And so Sue goes to attack him, and she uses a force field, and he just pushes her back, as usual. I'm like, okay. And then, this allows Ben to sneak up behind him and then like uppercut him into like the black hole, kill him. When he could have easily probably just ripped apart Ben at all. I don't know. Maybe they couldn't. Maybe there was a reason he couldn't have. But that wasn't explained, was it? No, because there was no effing character development whatsoever, or no explanation to anything. But yeah, so it's really lame how he dies. Ben just goes up and punches him out of nowhere, punches him in the black hole. It's like, okay, he's dead. That's it. Such a waste of a character. Such a waste of what could have been a great villain. Seriously. And he just goes in the black hole, and then they all find their way back. They go back to the wormhole, get back, teleport back to Earth, and they stop the machine, so they save Earth. And so they go and see the government about it, and the government's like, okay, well, thank you, we're thankful, you saved us. We know what you did here today. Your contribution helped. Oh yeah, one more thing. When Reed leaves, everyone is pissed at him because he left them, especially Ben, because you're like, he did this to Ben. He dragged Ben on this thing. Ben's what he is now because of Reed. And he did the same thing with Johnny. He talked Johnny into going on. He did the same thing with Johnny. But Johnny's like the only one that's not mad at him. Like, everyone's mad at him. But Johnny, who should be mad at him too, like, for the same reason Ben is, but Johnny's like, just hugs him as soon as he gets back when everyone else is mad at him. Like, you guys barely had any character development. You know each other barely at all. And he's like, what's up, brother? I was like, what? But yeah, they get back, and yeah, they're all mad at him. And all he says is, teamwork, guys. We can't beat him, but we can beat him as a team. And so it's like, okay, so you're all with him now? You don't even care? He's like, okay, that was a great pep talk. Alright, yeah, we're with you now, Reed, whatever. Just forget all the other differences we had before. We're not going to touch on that at all, because bad character development. So yeah, they get back, and the government thanks them, and then they say to them, we're not working for you anymore. They're talking to the government, like, we're not going to work for you anymore. And that it's like, we want you to help us, give us our own base and stuff to work with, but we work how we want, we don't take your orders. And the government's like, what if we say no to that? And then Johnny's just like, and then Ben like imitates them, like growls at him. It's like, okay, I guess that's kind of imitating. I get that. And then Johnny's just like, just say yes. He's like, oh, okay. They don't even. It was like, okay, these idiots just got drunk and like crashed the whole base almost. And it was like, okay, yeah, we'll let you do whatever you want. The government was so serious about this, and now they just like don't even care at all. It was like, yeah, okay, whatever. You can have whatever you want, guys. Whatever. So, oh, okay. And so the government sets up their new base, and then we get to the most like cringeworthy part. Is at the end of the film, they get to their new base. So like, all right, great. Now we have somewhere to work, and like Reed's like, all right, we should come up with a name for each other. We're a team now. We gotta have a name. And then it's like, and they're like, they're trying to think of a name, and then and they make try to make so many jokes at the end that are just so dumb, and they just fall flat at the end. It doesn't work at all. And then, so they're trying to come up with a name, and they say so many dumb jokes to fall flat, and then, like, they're like, we come really far, and then Ben's like, it's fantastic. And, like, Reed's like, wait, what'd you say? He's like, it's fantastic. And he's like, that's it, guys. I have our new name. And it cuts the credits and says Fantastic Four. I'm like, oh my god, really? That's how you come up with your name? Oh my god, it's just so stupid. It's cringeworthy. But yeah, the film had a really good setup and character with Ben and Reed, and setup to building the teleportation machine, and good acting from Michael B. Jordan and Victor Von Doom. They were setting up Victor Von Doom really, really well until the end, and they had some okay action sequences, but they cut out most all the action sequences almost, and there's barely any character development with Von Doom and the adoption thing. It's really bad character development, but the setup was really good, and the first hour of this film was actually done pretty well, and they had like one or two good action sequences, but all the other ones were crap. But they had a really good setup. The first hour of this film was good. They were going in so many great directions. It was just the final act of this film that like killed it. There would have been a little bit more character development on why Doom was doing what he did, and more explanation of Doom, then yeah, it would have been a little bit better, but had a cringeworthy ending, dumb jokes, wasn't fun at all. So yeah, overall though, I'd give this film 2 out of 5 stars. Yeah, alright. So that's my review of Fantastic Four. Comment down below telling me what you thought of the film. Are you interested, if you watch this review without seeing it, are you not interested in seeing it now? Tell me what you thought in the comments down below, and leave a like if you like this review. Thanks for watching, and see you guys on my next review.